Hi everyone, thanks for being here and thanks for subscribing to my channel, which I hope you all do. So please subscribe, ring the bell for further notifications. Let me know what you think about any of my content in the comment section below. I'm going to just have a quick conversation about Welcome to Country. It's raised its ugly head again because One Nation have decided that in Parliament yesterday they would turn their back on when Welcome to Country was provided. Now, the question for me is why is this such an issue for them? What does it say about One Nation and those people that think that Welcome to Country is such an evil aspect of our welcoming ceremony? Why is it that they believe that it's somehow a slant against them? Is it because they are racist? Is it because they feel offended by the fact that they believe that we should not be welcome to what they determine to be their country? That the white supremacist movement is profoundly indoctrinated into One Nation's thinking, Pauline Hanson's thinking in particular. And in the video, the clip I'm about to show you from Sky, certainly it's something that Sky rally around on a continual basis. Now, does this mean that they're trying to promote this anti-welcome to country narrative? Now, the government is pretty firm that they're going to maintain Welcome to Country, and yesterday there were two events in which this happened. One of them was the introduction or the speech given by the Governor-General in relation to welcoming parliamentarians into Parliament, and then there was also the Welcome to Country in Parliament itself. Now, how does welcoming people to the country from the Indigenous people, from the First Nations people of this country, prove to be so offensive? I'm concerned that this sort of right-wing propaganda will tend to dominate the discussion, that it will be fed by Fox News, the right-wing media, the Liberal Party network, if you like, and that it will spread a distrust of First Nations people and their particular plight in this country. And it will interfere with any progress that the Labor Party tends to take in relation to improving the conditions of Indigenous people. The anti-First Nations movement is extreme, and we must do whatever we can to speak about it in a way which indicates to people that First Nations people are people who, from colonisation, have been deprived of their rights, and that they are unfortunately one of the most incarcerated groups in our country. They have the largest amount of children taken from families as a result of the child protection system we have, and they live in poverty, and they have a drug and alcohol problem that is horrific. Now, there are social reasons as to why this has happened. Now, we can think about how they need to be addressed, and I'm sure the government thinks about that a great deal of the time. But we also, on the other hand, need to acknowledge that they were the first Australians. This is their country, and simply spending 30 seconds to a minute acknowledging their country is a recognition to them of the importance that they hold in this country of theirs. And it is shameful, I think, to think that people like One Nation will express their racism in the way that they do. And I'm concerned that it becomes such an issue for them, and that people like Sky News are spreading the evil around whether or not we should have Welcome to Country or not. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of a clip from Sky because they tend to explain this from their perspective in a way which I find offensive.
is former Labor councillor Linda Scott and One Nation Chief of Staff James Ashby. Hi to both of you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Now, look, we've got to start with what happened in the Senate today. One Nation senators have turned their backs during an acknowledgement of country in the upper house on the same day, I might add, that the Prime Minister told us that we should be embracing the welcome to country. This is what he said.
It is not controversial today, nor should it be. It is a respectful way of us beginning our deliberations here in Canberra, which of course means meeting place.
James, so One Nation leader Pauline Hanson, Malcolm Roberts and newly elected Senators Warwick Stacey and Tyron Whitten all turned their backs during that acknowledgement today. The Prime Minister says it's not controversial, but clearly the party's had enough.
Well, the Australian public have had more than enough, and we saw since Sunday 5 welcome to countries, 3 today, 1 on Sunday, 1 yesterday. I just don't know when it's going to end, Danica, and I think unless the Australian people start standing up and sending a very clear message, not only to the government but corporations that just keep ramming this down our throats, we are going to be put through this day after day after day. I don't see any end in it, and that's the biggest problem. So Pauline Hanson, to her credit, for the last 3 years has been turning her back on the welcome to...
So my point is, why is it so offensive? James Ashby can't tell us why it's so offensive, because if he did so, he would actually have to identify his own version of his racism. That One Nation and others see any effort to be able to improve the conditions of First Nations people as a slight against them for some bizarre reason. It doesn't take much effort to be able to at least sit down and listen to the welcome to country. Why one needs to stand, turn their backs to the person who's delivering the welcome to country and insult them in the way that they do, I find horrendous. Why is it that they have to do this? I'll never know. But they need to be honest with us, though, and they need to talk to us about their version of racism and why it is they want to exclude the First Nations people, the people that have been here for over 60,000 years, why they want to exclude them from acknowledging that this is their country. What is that about for them? Now, I don't know what you think about any of this, but I'm sure that there'll be some of you who will make a comment below. If you're going to make a comment, make it intellectual, please. Let's give an argument. Let's have a conversation about it if you like. But what would it mean to... I don't understand why you can't... You may disagree with Indigenous issues and you may disagree with Indigenous policies. You may disagree with a raft of Albanese's efforts to improve the Indigenous condition, including the voice. That's fine. Disagree. But if you're going to decide that it's a racist view that you're holding, then let us know that you're racist. It's that simple. Why can't these people be honest about where they stand in relation to Indigenous issues? Why can't they just tell us that the blatant truth is that they believe that white supremacists should be governing our country and that Indigenous people, Muslim people, people of a different religious background than Christian should be excluded from the debate and from the discussion because in their eyes they are inferior to the white race that these people believe should be dominating, people like Pauline Hanson and Robertson and others. They are an embarrassment, I think, to us all, and they need to be called out for what they are. And what they are racists. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and remember to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. In the meantime, take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.